Hylas and Myrrha, a tale, dedicated to Edward Softly, Esquire. Through Dorian meads, where countless beauties bide, a gentle river pours its crystal tide. Pensive but sweet, the singing currents flow, while in each wave surpassing graces show. In this broad flood, a towering rock is seen, remote alike from either bank of green. Around its base, caressing ripples move and murmur with the dulcet tones of love. Here, the white dove, by Cyprus, so-called goddess blessed, with tender skill constructs its lofty nest. Whilst on the stony summit proudly stands a temple looking o'er the stream-cleft lands. Sometimes at night upon the river banks a howling throng appear in eager ranks. A feline form their voices yet contain, a conscious throb and more than beast-like strain. Their longing glance the rocky islet seeks, while every howl a baffled wish bespeaks. At the cold stone their eyes enamored gleam, and tongues revile the intervening stream. Each sprig there come from all lands around, a virgin train to tread the sacred ground. In many a boat they reach the templed isle, to pray for Cythera's favoring smile. And there 'tis said, the Paphian queen imparts a balm that heals their love-distracted hearts. Hither one day by vagrant fancy brought, I wandered, half dissolved in curious thought. The silver stream shone beautiful and bright. The island rock gleamed, lovely to my sight. On flowering banks and many a pansied steep lay dreaming swains at ease amidst their sheep. The eldest of the band, whose beard of snow belied his black eyes' omniscient glow, my question heard and in quaint words unrolled the local legend kept from days of old. Long years ago, in these sequestered shades, dwelt Myrrha, loveliest of the rustic maids. No neighboring fairer and equal grace possessed, and even the nymphs inferior gifts confessed. Blue were her eyes, gold ringlets decked her head, rose-hued her cheeks, her lips of deeper red. Unrivaled features, veiled with height of soul, and every charm of manner crowned the whole. But though no other maid could charm, such charms could own, on beauty's peak the fair stood not alone, for in a bower that nestled on the lawn lived the young Hylas, radiant as the dawn. What words can paint, what tongue describe in truth, the fulgent graces of the tender youth? A head Praxiteles might never excel, a form whose poise no poet half could tell. Brown sparkling eyes in a face of marble gleamed, brown curling locks in rich profusion streamed. Such lips Apollo might in vain desire, and over all shone wisdom's generous fire. This stripling, rich in beauty and in art, owned the fond Myrrha's young confiding heart. No noon seemed bright, no azure sky seemed clear to Myrrha, save when Hylas lingered near. His lucent smile was trusting Myrrha's sun, and when he frowned, she felt the day was done. In his brown eyes her soul Elysium lay, while in his arms she dreamed the hours away. How oft the pair would tread the spangled green, and praise the rapture of the rural scene. Through fragrant groves their blissful way they look, or pause to watch the windings of the brook. Now and again their wandering forms would rest on some acclivous slope with daisies dressed, and here the lovely youth with tender care would weave a chaplet for his Myrrha's hair. Alas, that such blessed innocence must know the pangs of malice and the hand of woe. But while the ardent twain their loves revealed, invidious echoes filled the floral field, enraged to see a mortal maid enjoy such heavenly pleasure and so fair a boy. The jealous Oreads of the hillside bowers conferred and summoned all their evil powers. Chief of the band, malignant Philomela stood, the proudest nymph in all the hilly wood. Her had young Hylas often days gone by, repulsed and scorned as Myrrha's form drew nigh. Now spurred to action, she her minions leads, and evil presence haunts the rolling meads. 'Twas on a roseate morning in genial June, when opening buds forecast a cloudless noon, the tender Hylas, some small wish denied, roamed in a transient pet from Myrrha's side. Up a green slope the pouting stripling strayed, the while half frantic for the absent maid, when sudden from a secret grotto came, rejected Philomela, warm with amorous flame. Ere he could flee, the nymph had seized his hand, and called about her all the ardent band. The more he struggled, tighter did they hold, with love inflamed, and with great numbers bold. At length his feeble efforts died away, and wretched Hylas owned the Oread's sway. These tidings soon to lonely Myrrha flew, and blanched her crimson cheeks to ashen hue. Morn, noon, and night beside the brook she mourned, with streaming eyes and tresses unadorned. Succeeding months increasing anguish brought, till grief and pain possessed her every thought. Her ceaseless tears the rising brooklet bore in morning tides that laved the pensive shore, and one bleak day a new-swelled stream alone marked the sad spot that Myrrha once had known. Once, high in the hills, the hapless youth remained, loved but unloving, by the Oreads chained, while passing time but magnified his pain, to see the treasured Myrrha once again. One night when all of Philomela's train were deep in the blank folds of wine imparted sleep, the boy, impatient of his hated lot, fled from the precincts of the hillside grot. Down darkling slopes his hastening course he took, eager for Myrrha and the well-loved brook, when a snapped twig that lurked along the route awaked his captors and aroused pursuit. From cave to copse swift poured the Oread throng, on the hot chase, frenzy borne along, whilst Hylas prayed for wings that he might soar to Myrrha's side and see the nymphs no more. Unfarred the fleet pursuers and pursued o'er moonlit glade and through the shady wood, till Hylas, nearly spent, now breathed the air of lower meads, where flowed his altered fare. The consciousness flood the strange procession spies, and waves of wonder on her surface rise. Her lover's flight she notes with joyous mind, yet dreads the throng that presses him hard behind. On the runners race till Hylas sees the new swollen stream, and marks the grassy lass. With many a cry, the panting nymphs essay to reach the boy and bear the prize away. But Hylas now the unknown river braves, and plunges headlong in the friendly waves. Onto the shore bold Phimua's band advance, intent to follow through the stream's expanse. When Venus from the sky observes the sight, and casts her magic on the troubled night, unwonted peace now fills the swaying groves, and not a form on the broad champion moves. The nymphs, arrested in their eager chase, stand changed and stripped of all their former grace. The beauteous train, the furry felines shrink, and hover baffled by the river's brink. Meanwhile, the youth, within the embracing stream, senses his Myrrha in the pale moon's gleam. The flood, responsive, seeks with watery flow some fond caress or mark of love to show. Again, the Paphian queen her power displays, and on the scene a kind of enchantment lays. For as young Hylas nears the middle tides, a creeping change over all his figure glides. He slackens, stops, and then settles with a smile, transformed forever to a rocky isle. Thus rest the lovers through eternal time, while nature blesses all the genial clime. Her constant waves his faithful form caress, and he survives in all his loveliness. Atop his brow a fane of Venus stands, where pray the virgins of the neighboring lands, and Myrrha's tides on distant banks restrain the feline hordes that still the youth would gang. Here ceased the shepherd, as the blazing day in gold and purple twilight died away. The deepening sky a starry host revealed, and the young moon shone bright over flood and field. I glanced about, entranced by all I viewed, then sought my homeward path through shadowy wood. And one of the key types of mythology that you see in polytheistic cultures is the mythologization of the land in terms of this event or this individual, this piece of land, or this ocean, or, the geography was connected to myths like that. And who's to say there aren't spirits that inhabit, or groups of spirits that inhabit certain things versus other things? Because in the broad sense, that's true.